Cause I'm on another level. I'm bringing things to life like I'm Geppetto, like I'm Geppetto, like I'm Geppetto, Geppetto.
Pulling strings like Geppetto.
What's good, you guys? I am back here with another video. Hey, I'm gonna talk about living in California. So for the last year or so, I've been living part-time in California and Georgia, and pretty much being bi-coastal in two states is a lot. And I want to explain to you guys the pros and cons of living in California. While California is beautiful, there's a lot to discuss, okay? I'm not a California expert, but just living in California for a few months and going back and forth, I definitely picked up on some pros and some cons, okay? So check it out. Okay, the pros. Number one, the weather. The weather is absolutely beautiful. I'm originally from the Caribbean, so I like warm, windy weather. The weather it's breezy, it's warm, it's gorgeous. Especially if you live closer to like the water in California, it's just perfect. I mean, to be honest with you, sometimes you might not even need air conditioning depending on where you are, because it's nice and breezy. It can get really hot in the summer, but like the weather is absolutely gorgeous in California. That's a given. Number two, as someone who works in the entertainment industry, California is the place to be. Your proximity to entertainment opportunities is endless. You could actually run into your favorite producer or director or actor in California. And if you definitely want to take your career to the next level, you're going to have to eventually move to California. Hence why I moved to California. So yeah, opportunities are endless in California, especially if you're in the tech or entertainment industry. Three, it's multicultural. California is like a really dope melting pot. You have a big Asian communities, big Latinx communities. You know, you have white people, you have black people. You know, it's just like a melting pot. It doesn't seem as segregated like some other states, but like and you know, you have your little pockets where people are, but it's definitely beautiful and multicultural. I will say that's the one thing I love. You just have like a whole bunch of different people, so you can definitely find a tribe of people to hang out with in California, which I love. Number four, as someone who is a vegetarian who mainly eats a vegan diet, oh my gosh, the food out here is so freaking good, especially for someone like me. Endless healthy food options. I'm talking about from smoothies to vegan cuisine to different types of food, Caribbean, Mexican, Latin, Asian, you know, African. There's so many different types of food. So like even when I was looking for vegan options, I had like endless restaurants and places to try. So the food out here is great, especially if you are vegan or vegetarian. It's a lot of good food out here. Number five, healthy lifestyle. Now with California, a lot of people are image conscious. So you have a lot of people who work out, hiking, biking, running, walking. A lot of people take their health and fitness serious. So if that's what you're into, this is a great state to do that. You see a lot of people working out, a lot of people hiking. Like that's just something a lot of people out here do. People love working out, and they're very aware of, you know, their bodies and physiques. Now I know a lot of people get plastic surgery and all that stuff, but yeah, it's like a healthier lifestyle promoted. You see a lot of people eating cleaner and stuff like that. Now let's talk about the cons. Number one, rent is so freaking expensive and ridiculously absurd. Now, when I'm living in Georgia and you go and look for an apartment, you have so many amenities, right? You have so many amenities. they actually kind of do everything to have you sign the rental agreement in Georgia. In California, there's such a competitive rental market that anytime you're going to go look at a property, 9 times out of 10, you're going to go there and there's going to be at least 10 to 20 people looking at the property with you. So then it becomes like a rat race on who's going to fill out the application first. Then the landlords or the property owners, they then have to kind of like decide who they want to choose. It was like a mind fuck to me trying to find a place out here, because it was just like, what the heck? What do you mean? There's like 30 other candidates and I gotta wait to see who you guys choose. It was just messing with my head, because like I said, in Georgia, you just fill out an application, your credit's good, you have income, you get the apartment. In California, it's completely different. You have to impress the people you're trying to move into so they can select you. And then, not to mention, a friend of mine said race factors into it too. So like, yeah, finding an apartment in California is very hard. So be mindful of that. And let me just give y'all an example. I went to look at a studio apartment, tiny little studio apartment. In the description, it said kitchen included. I kid you not. I walk into the apartment, the studio, and I'm looking around and I'm like, well, where's the kitchen? So I asked the agent, I'm like, where's the kitchen? It was a mini fridge, a 2-burner little thing, and a microwave. And they said, oh, that's the kitchen. A mini fridge, a microwave, and 2 burners on top. I wanted to slap the shit out of the agent, because I'm like, you got me fucked up if you think I'm going to be paying like $1,400 for this little tiny ass studio. And that's common. You'll see so many of these tiny little apartments and studios that want like $1,200 to $2,000. One apartment I went into the bathroom and I'm looking around. I didn't see a sink. So I asked the lady, like, hey, where's the sink for the bathroom? She's like, oh, the bathroom doesn't have a sink. I'm like, bruh. What? And this is $1,600? You would even have some places where you go outside and it's so much like trash and all these things right outside your apartment, and they want like $1,800. And we're going to get into trash and all that next. So yeah, rent and finding a place is extremely hard in California. Number 2, I don't want anybody from California to get offended when I say this. I love y'all. California is great. California is extremely dirty in certain parts. It's like mind-boggling how dirty some parts are. Like, you would see just yards and yards of just trash, tents, homeless people. It's crazy. Like, I remember going down to downtown LA driving, and I was just like, should I even park? Because I was just driving around. It was so much trash. And like I said, it was just like some parts of California just like extremely dirty. And to me, it's kind of messed me up, because I was like, how could some people live like this? Like, I really was trying to like wrap my head around it. Like, how can people just live in this filth? It's kind of heartbreaking. Some parts of California look like a third world country, to be honest, because it's just so much trash, all the tents. I really hope something is done with, you know, the homeless population. And I heard the homeless population is just growing by the day. It's so many homeless people, and it's just all over. It's just all over. So yeah, you're gonna have to get used to seeing like a lot of trash and tents and homeless people just all over California. Like, yeah, it's a pretty dirty, you know, in some parts. And I don't want to offend, but I'm just keeping it real from what I see. Number 3, crime. California has a huge crime problem, a lot of break-ins and stuff like that. I think almost everybody I know in California's car has been broken into a few times. I don't know if it has to do with the homeless population, but crime is really bad. I suggest if you're looking for a place, definitely check the crime stats in the area. I remember I had found like an apartment that was like $12.50 a month. It looked good, and I was like, yeah, I'm about to finish the application. I thought I found a steal. Something told me to look at the crime statistics in that area. It had like 5 murders in 2 months. So I was like, oh, hell nah.
This ain't it, Chief.
So like, yeah, some parts of California, the homicide and like assault rates are ridiculous. And you have to be very careful of where you're moving to, and you have to like pretty much feel out the area. Definitely, it helps if you ask around, because yeah, you might, as an out of towner, you might move to California and move into like a really bad neighborhood, you know, get robbed and get your shit broken into. So yeah, California has a bad issue with crime. You know, just, you know, definitely vet where you plan on moving to. Number 4, traffic and parking. When I tell you the traffic in California is so off the chain, it had slowed down a bit with COVID, but it's back to just being off the chain. I'm talking about you could only be going a few miles and it could take you anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour. The traffic is really bad. I feel like California, all California drivers just drive extremely fast. It's crazy. Even with parking, it's so difficult to even just understand with the different places in California, because it's like you can only park here between the hours of such and such and such and such. Oh, you can't park here. You can't do this. You can't do that. It's just like you have to really be aware of everywhere you park, because you might park in the wrong area, get a ticket, get towed. It's crazy. And then there's sometimes there's almost like no parking. I know some people who have cars and they don't even drive their cars half of the time where they live, because they're like, they know if they leave, they're not gonna find parking when they come back. So they sometimes have to use like Uber and Lyft, and they have a car. So that's how bad it is in California, especially like places like Koreatown. It's just off the chain with parking. Like you'll probably have to drive around in a circle for an hour trying to find parking. It's pretty bad. So anyways, y'all, that was my pros and cons of living in California. I hope you guys liked the video. Leave a comment, subscribe. I got more videos coming for you guys soon. Love y'all. Tune in. Peace.